Hey guys, it's Deja, artist and graphic designer and creator of My Quality Time self-care deck. I wanted to talk today about false beliefs that we grew up with. So let's get into it. When I was 8 years old, I came to America from Russia, and in Russia when I was 8, I was a normal kid. I remember being just outgoing, playful. I don't remember being scared or shy, but when I came to America, it was a whole new world for me. I didn't speak English, and it was so shocking for me because I remember how quickly kids in school hated me. I just remember being in the cafeteria and being bullied. I came home one day and I asked my parents what this meant, and I showed them the middle finger, and they were like, "Oh, I don't know what that is. Where did you learn that?" And I said, "Some kid at school showed it to me." And then I learned what it meant, and I still, at the time, still didn't really understand what it meant. It took me a really long time to adjust and learn the English language. I had to go to ESL. I had a really hard time reading books for like years. I remember all through elementary school, junior high school, and high school, out of all the books they made us read, I can only remember two or three that I actually loved and understood. And every other book they ever made us read, for some reason, I couldn't get past the very first page. I would just keep reading the same page over and over, and I would realize that none of it's processing. At the time, I thought there was something wrong with me, that I was dumb. So what I ended up having to do was pretend like I was reading all the time, and I would just we had this like book club thing where they made us read books every week, and what I would do is I would read the back of the book and then write a summary about it, because we had to write a summary, and I would just basically summarize the back of the book because I never even bothered reading the books because I knew I wouldn't be able to understand them. And it wasn't until very end of high school that I discovered that I actually could read. I was at a library and I discovered this mystery murder book, and I became so obsessed. I read it in like 2 days. I just read it straight nonstop. I think that's when I started realizing that maybe the reason I couldn't understand books growing up is because they made us read stuff that I had no interest in. And so I kept spacing out. It wasn't that I was stupid. It was because that stuff didn't interest me, and the school system forces you to read some disturbing stuff. I had to take a mythology class in high school, which I never understood. I barely passed it, and that was only because the teacher really liked me and she felt bad for me. She saw that I was trying, but I really could not understand anything in mythology class. Same thing with Shakespeare. They made us take Shakespeare and all kinds of other stuff that I just couldn't understand. So let's fast forward. Also at the time, not to bash anyone in my family, but my parents didn't exactly encourage me or make me feel smart. They just pressured me to get good grades. Everything was, good grade based. If you get good grades, you'll be successful. That's kind of what I heard. And my SAT scores were not really that good. They were just average SAT scores. And I remember when I came home and my mom saw them, she was not happy. She was like, "You're never going to get into college with these grades." And I cannot tell you how horrible that made me feel. I just felt like so crappy. Like, wow, I'm really stupid. I let my parents down. At the end of the day, I applied for art college and they didn't care about SAT scores. They just cared about my art talent. And over the last 10 years, I've actually dove into learning things on my own, things that I had interest in, things I wanted to teach myself that I didn't get to learn in school. For example, about 10 years ago, I really wanted to learn how to invest in stocks, but I didn't think I'd be able to understand it because it sounds complicated and risky, of course, right? And for someone who grew up thinking she was stupid and had, basic grades, I did not think I would be able to do it. But I wanted to try because I'm a go-getter. It's what I like to do. I like to challenge myself, and I do like to learn, and I just wanted to try. So I got like a book at Amazon. I read it. It seemed very basic, and I went to the library and I downloaded a bunch of financial reports and chose a couple of stocks that I thought that were going to be good. put some money in it, and that money grew over the years. I didn't really touch those accounts for many, many years, and over the last 10 years, I made about a 500% profit, I guess, whatever it's called. I don't remember how to invest anymore, but I still have money in that account. It's not a lot of money, but that's not the point, because at the time I didn't really have a lot to invest anyways, and I was just testing it out to see if I could make money. But I did. And so that's something that I always forget, honestly, to look back and go, you taught yourself something that not a lot of people teach themselves. And I use that to remind myself that I'm not stupid, and I probably never were stupid to begin with. So I have to say, I definitely question how many of us think we're stupid because we didn't have parents who encouraged us or who told us how smart we were, or teachers. Okay, I remember being punished, if you want to call it that, in high school. One of my teachers said to my mom, "Your daughter does not participate, so I cannot give her an A. I can give her a B, but I will never give her an A unless she participates." At the time, I still had major issues with people looking at me. I still had like bully trauma, so I didn't like to raise my hand. I was terrified of people laughing at me and making fun of me being wrong. So I didn't like to raise my hand, and I didn't think that it was fair to punish my grades, or punish me in a sense by not giving me a good grade. That was not very fair, but I don't really blame the teacher, I guess. I blame the school system, because that's just how kids are graded, based on your grades, and it's not fair the way teachers judge you and the way they make you feel growing up, because that stuff really stays with you for such a long time. I read somewhere about Thomas Edison. You might want to Google this yourself, because I don't remember the full story, but basically he was too stupid, and so he got kicked out of school. They said he's too dumb, we can't teach him or whatever. But his mom refused to tell him that. So when he asked his mom, "Why I don't go to school anymore?" she said, "It's because you're too smart, and you're too smart for that school, and they can't teach you." And so she continued to encourage him, and I don't even know if he ever found out the real reason, but look what happened. My whole point is, what people tell you growing up, you end up believing, and you end up manifesting. And it has taken me over 20 years to realize that I was never stupid to begin with. But I'm not going to lie, I still have that seed planted in my head, and I still sometimes doubt myself that I can't do something. And I have to constantly go back and remind myself, no, you taught yourself something really cool, and not only that, it did well. That's why nowadays I have to remind myself, this is something you can learn. So like right now I'm trying to learn marketing and Facebook ads and bringing my products to more people. And so far I felt a little discouraged in the beginning, but right now I'm seeing some hope, because I am seeing some results, which I'll do a different video on that later. But I just wanted to do this video to talk to anyone who's ever felt dumb growing up for whatever reason, whether it's people telling you that or just lack of encouragement. You are what you think you are. It really comes down to it. And you have to start telling yourself otherwise if you ever want to break out of that. If you don't have someone out there telling you how amazing you are, then you have to do that for yourself. Because you are amazing, you're smart, and you can probably learn anything out there. What anyone else has achieved, you can achieve. So don't let anyone discourage you from trying anything or proving them wrong. You owe it to yourself to prove whether you can do something or not do something. I hope this inspires someone. I'd love to hear your story if you've ever grown up feeling dumb or stupid, and whether you're still struggling with it, and what your thoughts are. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel, and you can share this with anyone that you think would get something out of it. See you next time. Thank you.